Hi, everyone. My name is Sara. I'm a partner technology strategist for Microsoft Western Europe. And today I'm going to lead this technical track for SaaS solutions on the Teams platform. Before I start, I just want to highlight that if you haven't done so already, you should check out the business track by Natalie Renier, where she presents the business opportunity behind this. So, everyone knows that the way we work has changed forever, and Teams is now the new home for work. People don't just open Teams to join a meeting and then close it when the meeting's over. They work in Teams all day. So it's a place to make connections and share ideas and information. It's where people work before, during, and after a meeting, and it supports all the different ways that people engage and collaborate. So Teams brings together meetings, chats, calls, collaboration, but also third party apps and business processes into a single experience. And we are seeing more and more people using it every day, which is why Teams is such a great platform that can bring so much added value to any organization. And there is a lot we can capitalize on if we start looking at Teams as more than just an app. We need to start looking at it as a platform because actually many customers are already using Teams for the basic stuff. And the end game is to get them to make the most of all functionality in their daily work and extend Teams and adapt it to the needs of each individual, each team, and each organization. And to really start using Teams as the home base for all the flow of work with apps and processes within Teams itself so that people can keep doing what they need to do in context and in the most seamless way possible. Then, on the other hand, beyond this adaptability and extensibility for the customer and end user, what Teams gives you as a Microsoft partner is actually another distribution channel for your own apps and your own solutions with a large installed base of customers. So, with Teams, you can make your apps available directly in the same front end that customers who have Teams already use and to which they're already used to. And with so many people working remotely, the number of apps they use is bound to grow as well. So why not meet them where they already are? And in general, when we talk about customizing and extending Teams from a customer point of view, we have two main perspectives. So first, we have this out of the box apps ready to use that can be the native integration with Office 365 tools or partner applications, which are already in the Teams App Store, completely packaged and completely plug and play. And then we have the second perspective, custom solutions, which can be vertical, so focused on the specific customer industry, or horizontal, more focused on the organization structure in a specific process or a specific department. Now, as a partner, especially in ISV, we want to aim at Teams store apps. We want to build repeatable IP that's multi tenant and that our customers can easily discover and install. But if we're talking about solutions that require more customization or manual configuration, if we have a single tenant app, etc., it might also make sense to aim at custom apps. Even if they don't end up in the Teams public store, they are installed and accessible through the customer's private store. And in the public store, we have a lot of third-party apps available already, more than 800 at the moment. And you can see some well-known examples here like Evernote or Jira or Trello. And to be clear, we're not just talking about partners that develop apps from scratch. We can very well bring existing apps and investments to the world of Teams. We can think about new ways to interact inside Teams with interaction functionality like bots, tabs, messaging extensions, interactive cards, etc. And even add some more back-end functionality that's way beyond Azure with technologies like the Microsoft Graph, Power Platform, SharePoint Framework, and even take advantage of connectors and webhooks to bring the power of an external solution into Teams. There is so much we can do and explore. Like Trello did, for example. And the Trello integration has been launched a while back already, but it's still a great example. This wasn't an app built specifically for Teams, but it does take advantage of the extended capabilities that Teams gives you. So now, besides simply having Trello's project and task management app as a tab for Teams, it also has specific Teams functionality to bring added value, like a one-on-one bot to interact about projects, and even connectors to receive Trello notifications in Teams channels through adaptive cards that allow users to take action in context. So now you can start to have an idea of the possibilities. But to start our journey on developing or bringing solutions and apps to Teams, we need to start with a scenario. We may have already some solution in mind, but it does need to make sense. Otherwise, we risk building something that amounts to no added value at all and that nobody uses. So we need to think, why would we want to bring this to Teams? What value can Teams add to the solution? What's the use case? What's the problem we want to solve? And what's the impact we expect? And then once we've decided which scenarios we actually want to pursue, we have a world of tools and possibilities to help us develop an amazing Teams app. And there are plenty of accelerators to help us get there. Of course, we can build our own apps or solutions from scratch. Or if we have an existing solution, we may want to leverage on the work we've already done and create custom integrations for that. And we have several tools to help on this journey and to help us work smarter instead of harder and do a lot with less effort. So let's explore these different options a little bit, starting with custom integrations. I mentioned before some of the capabilities that the Teams platform enables apps to tap into. So let me get a little deeper in some of the core ones to help give you a better idea. Starting with tabs. Tabs are the canvas that serves as the user interface of our apps. We can create our own custom tab for our app that points to our application. And users can then engage in a conversation about the application right in the context of the app. Then we have message actions. And these, as the name suggests, help users perform an action on a conversation. This is the menu that appears when we click on the three dots while hovering on a message. And with this functionality, we can customize the message actions and add our own actions into the dropdown. We also have bots that allow users to engage in a natural language conversation with an application. And these bots can be very simple or advanced bots with rich functionality and interactive cards. And they're a great way to handle question and answer scenarios or times when we need to, for example, message a channel or a user on behalf of a service. Then we have task modules that allow us to pop open a dialogue within Teams rather than sending users outside of Teams. And this is useful, for example, when we need to fill in a form, do a lookup, or keep any one-on-one interaction out of a channel. Then messaging extensions allow users to bring in information from outside of Teams to inside of Teams. For example, we can use this to bring in information on a help desk ticket in the context of a conversation, or even the weather, for example. And last but not least, we have notifications to essentially get users' attention by allowing apps to post a message into the Teams activity feed. So there's a lot to choose from. It's a matter of deciding which use cases and which scenarios we want to address. And one other thing we need to decide is whether it makes more sense to scope our app to a Teams or an individual user. Apps scoped to a team can be added to a team and are available to all members of a team, whereas personal apps are apps scoped to an individual, so they're only available to a user. A team scoped app supports all Teams platform capabilities like tabs, bots, messaging extensions, and message actions. They allow multiple members to collaborate and share information from your app. For example, bots within a team scoped app can also be proactive in reaching out to users based on an external event, such as when inventory is low. So this allows all members to be informed and engaged with your app. Then a personal scoped app is useful, for example, to aggregate data from one or more teams for a specific user. An example of this is the Planner app that shows all the tasks that a user is assigned across multiple teams. Now, to summarize, this is the general architecture. So you can be developing an app for any scenario, any industry you might be thinking of. You may host your app in the cloud, Microsoft or not, or you might even have it on premises. You might be using Azure services or the SharePoint framework, the Power Platform, or other Microsoft or non-Microsoft technologies in the backend. But either way, Bringing your solution to Teams allows you to tap into all the different rich functionality that I mentioned before and take advantage of things like the platform APIs and information from the Microsoft Graph to take your custom solution to the next level. Now, moving away from the custom integration side, let's say that maybe you don't have an app already and you want to start very quickly building a solution for a customer that has a common line of business problem. We have some app templates available that might be an option for you. These app templates are production-ready apps for Microsoft Teams that are community-driven, open source, and available on GitHub. Each repository has detailed instructions for deploying and installing that app. So each of these is a ready-to-use app that you can install and begin using right away. But then the complete source code is available as well. So it's very well documented and you can explore it in detail or get the code and alter it to meet your specific needs. One other possibility is that you might want to build your own solution, yes, but in a very fast and easy way. And that's where low-code, no-code tools come in. This is where we have the Power Platform. This is a low-code platform that essentially gives us a way to tap into the information and develop solutions without having to write a lot of code. So we can really say it empowers everyone from citizen developers to pro developers to create great solutions in a fast and simple way. As part of this Power Platform, we have Power BI for business analytics, Power Apps for app development, Power Virtual Agents for low-code, no-code chatbots, and Power Automate for process automation. You can look at this Power Platform as one connected platform that can accelerate innovation. So it's one platform. It can go from simple to complex, empowering the citizen developer, but all the while giving IT the advantage of taking over control when it's needed. Then it's built on top of the Dataverse, which was previously known as a common data service. And this is a dedicated data platform that allows you to have one view of the truth of your business data across all systems. It also has over 400 connectors to endpoints like Salesforce.com, Oracle DB, MySQL, Twitter, etc., just out of the box, and allows you to connect both to cloud and on-prem solutions, and even evolve with custom connectors if you need to. And then the integration with Teams is absolutely seamless, especially now with the Dataverse for Teams, which is a really powerful way to provide deeper integration between Teams and the Power Platform. Essentially, Dataverse for Teams takes a subset of the capabilities of the data platform behind Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform to give you more of a lightweight version of this, targeted specifically for Teams, without needing the premium licensing required for the full Dataverse. So we get the cool stuff like data storage, the support for rich data types like images or choices, and a relational database for our data without needing to spend money on premium licenses, because this is already included in the Microsoft 365 license that gives us Teams. And then, since this is natively integrated with Teams, we also get built-in security and governance, and we can use the Teams standard user roles of owners, members, and guests also to manage access to our environment, our data, and our apps. So this is a really great way to build low-code applications for Teams with one-click deployment, and with the possibility to have all the richness of a Teams native app, but built using a low-code tool like Power Apps, and even built directly in the embedded app studio for Teams. We can create and connect our data and then build an app quickly within Teams like we would any other Power App. We also have readily available templates for Teams-based Power Apps, which make it even easier. And then we know that whatever app we build, we will have a responsive layout as if it were a Teams native app. Then with Power Automate, we can process events from hundreds of triggers out of the box to start flows, plus custom events in external systems through custom connectors. Then after triggering a flow, actions can read and write data in any of the hundreds of connectors and integration flows. And this, of course, includes triggers and actions specific to Teams. We can, for example, send an email when a new message is posted to Teams. And many common tasks like approvals are easy to set up as well. We can easily create approvals that can be handled from inside Teams on desktop or mobile devices. And we have several other actions specific for Teams that allow us to send messages or interactive cards and even perform management tasks like creating a team or adding a member. And then we can really think about using this to automate almost anything from simple if this, then that processes to detailed conditional branching that leverages stuff like the Microsoft Cognitive Services or AI powered decision making. And one other very important piece of this Teams and the Power Platform story is virtual agents. With virtual agents, we can create bots through a very simple interface without the need for code or AI expertise. And the best part is we can do this and leverage these bots at no extra charge within Microsoft Teams. So as long as we're building a bot for Teams, we don't need additional licensing. We can build our Power Virtual Agent chatbots directly within Teams, make them available and easy to access with native authentication for Teams users. And then once it's published, any Teams user can find our bot. So you can see with all this functionality and the Dataverse for Teams, and really with Teams being the application platform that it is, it's the perfect place to host and leverage low-code dev with the Power Platform. Power Apps and Power Virtual Agents are simple enough to build, but coupled with Teams, we have more to add to the story. It makes it all the more easy to deploy. We can have one-click deployments to the Teams App Store, and it's simple for a partner such as yourself to build and deploy to a customer. And then it's easy to manage as well because we can leverage telemetry and data in Teams Admin Center. So we're able to leverage on the capabilities already included in Microsoft 365 licenses. So we can really say that Teams is now a full low-code platform that brings added value when used as a hub for our Power Platform-based solutions, our apps, bots, data, and automation. And the full lifecycle management can be done through Teams in a seamless and fast way, from building to testing, deploying, and publishing solutions, which can then be easily discovered by the target end users. But of course, we can't forget that although the Power Platform and Teams are definitely better together, as I mentioned before, there is much more we can do with Teams as a platform. We just need to keep paying attention and looking for the right scenarios and the right opportunities. And then once we have our Teams app developed and tested, we need to think about the way it will be distributed and managed. So most of you attending the session are ISV partners. So the goal is likely to be publishing your app to AppSource and the Teams App Store. And this is the high-level process you must go through to accomplish that. Of course, it all starts with dev and test, as usual. Then you submit and get app approval to publish to the Teams App Store. And this is a whole process on itself. So we don't really have the time today to go through it in detail. But you can find more info on the link here on the slide, including some guidance to ensure your app complies with the basics and to help you avoid classic pitfalls. But then it doesn't stop there. We also have the Microsoft 365 App Compliance Program, which is a three-tier approach to app security and compliance. This program is actually currently voluntary, so you can choose to complete all three tiers, only some of them, or none at all. It's at your discretion. But the idea for this is to give customers and users the confidence they need while using apps in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So let's take a closer look. The first tier is publisher verification, which helps admins and end users understand the authenticity of application developers that are integrating with the Microsoft Identity Platform. So this verification essentially provides transparency and a reduction of risk for customers because it helps customers understand which apps being used in the organization are published by developers that they can trust. And then it also improves your branding as a developer since a blue verified badge appears on several of the interfaces used by end users and admins. Now, the next tier is publisher attestation. And here the main goal is to make it easier and speed up the process of app adoption while assuring customers that the apps they enable in their tenants meet organizational standards for security, data handling, and compliance. Essentially, all the information needed to make an informed decision for all apps that have completed the publisher attestation can be found in one place and in a consistent format. So it can save a lot of time for customers and help accelerate internal security and compliance reviews. And for the publisher, it's also a point of differentiation from other apps in the store. And this applies to Teams apps, but also to other apps for Microsoft 365. And it's also a qualification to start the Microsoft 365 certification. And this certification, so the last tier, offers assurance and confidence to organizations that data and privacy are adequately secured and protected when using this app. So it ensures that these apps are compatible with Microsoft technologies, that they are compliant with cloud app security best practices, and that they are supported by Microsoft. And during this process, app developers work with a third party analyst to assess application security, operation security and secure deployment, data handling, security and privacy, and also optional external compliance frameworks. So this boosts trust for the IT admins and increases confidence in the app's security and privacy practices. And from the developer side, you not only get a free assessment and verification of your security and compliance posture, but also a badge printed on your app's listing in AppSource and Microsoft Docs. And you can use marketing materials to promote your status as a Microsoft 365 certified app. So it gives you even more visibility and confidence for customers to use your application. And this was it for me for today. Thanks for listening. I'll just leave you with some resources here so you can explore more of the Teams platform. And now I'd advise you to watch the session from Medic's Note, where you can hear from a partner that actually went and is still going through this whole process of building apps for teams. And as I mentioned before, do make sure to also check out the Partner Opportunity track by Natalie Renier, where she presents the business opportunity for building apps for teams. Thank you.